Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. We've been talking about the state of the Nigerian economy. The president has said, look, the PDP has left this nation with nothing, and that is what his government is trying to fix. He said they will do their best, that is the Buhari government. We've been talking to the PDP member in the studio, and of course, an APC member is standing by to talk to us. But before I switch to the Abuja studio, you looked at the progression of the Nigeria's economy and how it has gone.
Yes.
Things have been going bad from the Q1, Q2 of 2015.
Yes.
And when this government got into power, Q3 at about Q3, the performance of that started going low. A lot of people would say, do not blame the Buhari government. They inherited a badly battered state of the economy.
But that's exactly what I said. I said the price of oil.
Okay, so you agree now?
I said the price of oil dwindled. So you can't lay the blame squarely on Buhari's government. But there are certain things that you can do. I just gave an example. Now, the flexible nature of the pricing of the dollar to the naira has shown that we were not ready. This was what should have been done in Q2 2015. Now today, even the deal that they said they had with the China Exim Bank, where the renminbi, which is a yen, there would have been no go between the dollar and the naira. Most of our imports come from China, which should have been a deal that should have been sealed. All looks like it was all on paper. All I'm telling you here is I'm not trying to absolve the PDP. I'll be stupid if I come here to absolve my party and say we are not responsible for a lot of the rots that have gone on. You know me. I sit in this studio and I condemn my party. People know me for that. At least you can give that to me, that I sit down and I say the truth when it has to be the truth.
So the president was right anyways?
The president is just trying to look for excuses for the first time.
Is that the truth?
No.
It is an excuse or not, but is it the truth?
It's not.
Let me quickly talk to Ayo Yalawo. Ayo Yalawo, you probably have been defending your party, because a lot of people will say, well, your party has gone into government and you guys are giving excuses for the bad state of the Nigerian economy and the reasons why the performance is not been seen. A lot of people will say, look, this is no time for blame game. What would you say to what the president said yesterday? What's your take on that?
Thank you, Sean. What the president has done is not about, is not playing any blame game. You have to identify what the problems are or what it is before you can begin to solve the problem. It is clear that there was nothing that this government can build upon. Therefore, you are not even starting from zero. The economy has begun to dwindle from Q3 of 2014. So it is just a natural progression that we get to where we are today. Unfortunately, like the president rightly said, it's not about playing blame game. It's about saying the truth as it were. The PDP government spent 16 years. We had 2 cycles of oil boom. When the APC government came into power, not only were we owing the Paris Club that we have exited before, what we are owing now is even worse than what we were owing before we exited the Paris Club. That's number one. Number two, there were no savings left in place. Now, talking about sovereign wealth fund, we didn't have sovereign wealth fund. We had just $1 billion in sovereign wealth fund, where Angola had 5 to start with. We started with just 1 because the PDP government was much more interested in building a few people as billionaires. In fact, the past president was so happy to tell Nigerians that who said we are suffering when Nigeria has the highest number of private jets in Africa. We were number 2 to just China. And China had an economy that was thriving. We didn't have an economy. All we had was crude oil. And the moment the price of crude oil plummeted, automatically we are going to be affected negatively. That is one. Number 2, I am aware that this government have decided that they wanted to save the economy by pushing some money into the system in terms of physical infrastructure. I am talking to you today right now. Most of the money that the government had decided to push out to for construction work, it was recently just discovered that Nigeria was owing several billions in fee to most of the construction company. I am aware that Nigeria has not paid Julius Berger 3 years money it was owing it. So Julius Berger just took the money and nothing can be done. So they had put Nigeria in a quandary. But everybody is screaming recession. Nobody is looking at where it has come from.
Just a moment. If I quickly may come in, because we have just few minutes to trash out some of these issues. A lot of people will say, this is not the first time that we're hearing the president, in fact, the APC talk about years of PDP's rot and how badly they performed. One would be wondering that it took the president more than 6 months to be able to put up a cabinet. A lot of people have said, look, if the president is blaming the past administration for its rot, what about how sluggish the government was in taking off anyways?
Are you aware that government, like they say, is a continuum? When this government came in, the transition committee that was put in place, they were starved of information. You do not expect the president to just employ people and then put them where they should work without knowing what is on ground. The government had to practically go through every note that they were given before they can now say, okay, this is where we are. The president did what you call due diligence. He had to go through each of the ministry one after the other. So it is not about being sluggish. It is about building a foundation that you can say, this is what I am doing. So it is not about what the government has done. See, even if it took 1 year to appoint ministers, what we are saying is that when this APC government took power, Nigeria had nothing in external reserves. The oil prices were plummeting internationally. And I said that was not bad enough. No country will lose 60% of its revenue and will not be in recession. As I talk to you, the Avengers and whoever they call themselves have been busy bombing pipelines. And Nigeria is losing over 1 million barrels per day. Now, the oil price has plummeted. You are not even selling the number of crude you are supposed to sell on a daily basis. How will you meet your need? So it is being clever by half when you begin to scream, Buhari was sluggish, Buhari did not put in ministers. It is not about that. It's about the fact that even if you have the ministers, where will the money that will be spent come from? And
a lot of people will say, let's bring the conversation to a point of, let's progress the conversation now. A lot of people will say, okay, now you've talked about what you want to do and all of that. The speed, again, is another matter. Mr. Okolibo, we're at a point in time where the body language and the plans of the government in taking the nation forward has been assessed severally, and a lot of people will say, are we really on the right track? Do you see the policies of this government as such that will take us out of the woods?
You see, the thing about it is that I'm happy Senator Shehu Sani and Senator Dino Melaye are members of the APC. And they've clearly said that they do not see these policies taking us out of the wood. So I'm quoting them. I'm trying not to quote anybody who is seen to be in the opposition, because any contrary view is seen as a mere gimmick from the opposition. You see, the truth about it is the Minister of Finance and the Central Bank of Nigerian governor have not got it right. The high time Nigerians know that those two people have not been able to get us to where we are today. And the buck stops at the president's table. The president has done so much in terms of the fight on security.
Senator Melaye's
the fight on security, the president has done very well.
Senator Melaye advised that the president should sack.
He was spot on.
Even with the CBN,
he was spot on. Okay, now we're talking about Dasuki's loot. All the loot. Are these not the issues we're talking of that has made PDP a demon that PDP is today? When you look at the mind-boggling amounts that were supposed to have been allegedly looted by Dasuki and all the people who received those funds, who was superintending the CBN as at that time? Was he not Emefiele? He was the one superintending the CBN. Okay, now I heard the president talk about the pilot scheme. The pilot scheme he's talking about is a Fadama project. This Fadama project is an agricultural project which is being tested in 13 states. It's only Kebbi that is being successful today in that Fadama project. And it's only Kebbi that is looking possible. There's a possibility that they might be able to export rice. We're talking about diversification.
Let's go on another short break. We'll be back to talk about solution, and the way forward. Join us again. We'll be right back.